Hi guys, Jessica here. What's going on? Today we're going to be doing a photo critique. The last video I made doing a critique like this, I think it was last year, and I got so many comments about you guys wanting a part 2, so I'm finally making it. I asked you guys to submit your photos in a Facebook post, and I chose a few to go over. So without further ado, let's get into the very first picture. You know, it's funny because you guys love these videos so much, but I'm not all about the critiquing stuff. I wasn't a huge fan in college, but I know you guys like them, so that's really why I'm doing it. I appreciate the fact that you guys really want me to critique your pictures. Like, that's very flattering. So some of you guys left your Instagram handles, others didn't, so I'm going to be saying the Instagram names if you included it, and if not, just the name that you posted under. So the very first photo is ADAMWSMITHPHOTOGRAPHY, and I'm really sorry, I'm probably going to be butchering everybody's name, so apologies in advance. And it's a girl. She looks like she's underneath a tree, so there are some leaves in front of her face. Now, I really like the coloring of this image. I think it complements very well, very nicely warm toned. The framing, I think you could have cropped it in a little bit closer to the top of her head. I would have even liked to see this cropped all the way in so that's super close up, because the leaves are covering a very central part of her face, and with something like this, you know, it's like a portrait and you almost want to see the details of her face. And also, if you're gonna have something like blocking the face, maybe I would just do like an eye, you know, keep the rest of her face showing through. With a portrait like this that's really close up, you want to be careful with the retouching as well. The cheek area looks blurry and a little bit patchy, so maybe if you could have cleaned that up a little bit more. And I know retouching can be very difficult, so I totally understand that struggle. I would have even kept that under eye area just to make it look a little bit more natural. You just got rid of that entire line. I think it just looks a little bit too over processed, especially the eye area. I like, it looks like you tried to highlight her pupil a little bit. I think it just looks a little bit too much. I think if what you did now, you just dialed it down, maybe like 25% or even 50%, you still could have kept that natural look about the portrait. So those are my tips for that photo. And let's go on over to the second picture. This is by ESKILSSON. How close was I to saying that correctly? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Okay, so this is of a girl, and it looks like a botanical garden maybe? Wait, I think you said this was taken in a botanical garden. So, first of all, I really do like the framing and the composition. The only immediate things that I'm drawn to are, I think, how do I even say this, like the lack of contrast. I think you substituted like the black with a green or a blue, it looks like, and so I don't know if it really complements the photo because there's so much green already. So I don't know if I'm like loving the color selection. It kind of just all meshes in. Like, she's wearing a black shirt and then the background is like gray and black and green, and there's nothing that really stands out other than maybe like her skin tone really. So maybe choosing a different type of coloring would have suited the picture a little bit better. And also there's like a piece of hair that's going through her eye. Maybe I wouldn't have chosen something like that. Anything that's kind of going straight through the eye can be very distracting, is what I'm trying to say. But otherwise, good job, Adam. So the next photo is another Adam W. Smith Photography, and it's of a girl, again, we got some greenery in the back. Okay, so this one, immediately I felt like the colors, again, they just meshed in too much. They kind of just all blend in together. And I know when we're shooting with greenery, we tend to tweak the greens. But in this case, she's wearing a teal shirt, so you want to be careful because you don't want the image to look flat in terms of like the color dynamic. So maybe when you're tweaking the greens in post, you can change it so it's a little bit brighter, so that the subject stands out a little bit more from the background, is is what I mean to say. Otherwise, I do like the photo. I think it could have been cropped in a little bit closer. I really would have liked to see the subject stand out more from the photo in terms of like her outfit. Even if you were to crop it to where it's like her shoulder upwards, I think would have been nice too. And then again, just maybe tweaking the color so that the subject stands out a little bit more than the background. Maybe even decreasing the saturation of the greens, or popping out the color of her shirt, or maybe add a curves layer and mask her out a little bit so she's a little bit brightened up, just to create some distinction. So the next photo is BRISS.PHOTOS. So right off the bat, I'm really liking the colors of this. I like the warm tones kind of coming in. Correct me if I'm wrong, this looks like a gradient that's coming in. You maybe set it to overlay. I think I know too much. This is when you know I don't leave my house. It looks like a orange gradient overlay layer. They should make like a game show, like guess the raster layer, guess the adjustment layer that was added onto this picture. So I like the makeup of the model as well. I think that's really cool. I love it. Quick things that I would tweak about this: her pose, be careful. Again, you know, elbows so close to, you know, the way that you frame this also doesn't really flatter the pose at all. I appreciate the models trying to do something different, but just fix that composition. Like half of her arm is cut off. And if you did want to just keep this picture, maybe you can crop it in so it kind of matches the cutoff for her other arm. Like maybe just cut off both, you know what I mean? Like, okay, one same treatment, I guess. So I think those are the immediate things that I think of. And also be careful with like wardrobe. I see that like there's like a hole in, you know, how the shirt is buttoned. So we want to be aware of that. I know it's hard when we're shooting, we're paying attention to only the picture taking, but you know, styling is also important. And I've made this mistake so many times. So just, you know, take a break and look at how the model's clothes are and make sure that nothing's out of place when you're shooting. But otherwise, great job. I love the coloring, by the way. Good job. Great job with that. So next photo is by GERGUSHKA. That was pretty close, right? I would say that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Okay, so for this one, quick things right off the bat. The editing is very nice. I love the subtle coloring. It's not too overdone. Things you want to watch out for though, Donna, you want to make sure hair ties. I know it sucks. I know when you're halfway into shooting and then you forget that the model's wearing a hair tie. It's honestly the worst. So just be careful with that. Again, I know it's so hard to focus on so many things when you're shooting because you want to pay attention to the photography, but first thing that's gotta go is that hair tie. Hashtag photographers against hair ties. I love the color palette without like that bright red net and then the oranges. I just feel like it doesn't really go with the picture. From the background to the door to the skirt, you have these warm neutral tones, and then you see this bright red bag, like this produce bag, and then the bright oranges. Look, I love oranges. They're great. I eat them when my mom buys them. You know, I should probably eat them more. I don't know why I'm even confessing this to you guys, but I probably should, you know, I should just eat healthier in general. But I do like donuts, which the ISO was getting dusty, so we had to increase it just a little bit. So bear with me here. Let's go back to Donna's picture real quick. I just think it just kind of throws it off having that bag with the bright oranges and then everything else is neutral tone. I would have even liked to see this picture without it. It doesn't really fit with the picture. The angle I don't think really flatters the photo too much, and also you want to be careful shooting that angle with a model wearing a skirt or a dress. Maybe getting like a side shot showing off the outfit a little bit more. So yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of the angle you took this at, but otherwise you're definitely on the right track here. And again, I just love that color palette. You did a great job with picking out the location with that outfit. So good, great job. The next one is definitely Daphne 101. And I chose this photo not because I want to critique it really, but because I think it's stunning and beautiful. When I saw this, I was like, wow, this is great. So I just wanted to just compliment you, I guess. Only little critiques I would give you, maybe just crop the top of it. I don't think that guy's arm. I mean, he looks like a good outfit, you know, like he has like a nice sweater on with his watch. Looks like a nice guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but we don't need him in this picture. So maybe just crop it a little bit closer to her head, and then just Photoshop out the hair tie. Amazing job. So the next one is Hitlery. Hopefully you copied and pasted correctly. So I have to say the colors are beautiful. They just complement each other so well, very eye-catching. So great job choosing these colors. The little critiques that I would give you, just the framing. I wish this was shot in portrait, a little bit more vertical. I just don't feel like the horizontal crop does this any justice. I mean, you're cutting off, you know, just the limbs, and I just think that it takes away from the photo so much. I think if you were to just shoot this to show a little bit more of the background, again, have her hands showing and even her feet showing. So I'm not sure I'm loving this pose just because of the crop and the framing. Also, you want to be careful of things like the hair that's falling onto her face from her ear. I probably wouldn't choose a photo like that. Maybe just fix that next time, like tuck it back in. Just be careful of things like that, because I think it can take away from the picture. The next one is KIMSTAGRAPHY. That is such a cute username. I love it. So for this one, right off the bat, I love the blue sky with the red shirt. Great job. Honestly, I love that color palette. Things I noticed immediately, the saturation in her face. It's a little bit too saturated, maybe like near the cheek area over here. Maybe just decrease it a little bit. And also, I think maybe you tried to edit the, you can like totally roast me and be like, no, I didn't. The eyes look like they've been highlighted a little bit. I don't think you needed to, but listen, if I'm wrong about that, you can totally correct me. But it just to me, it looks like they were, you dodged them a little bit. I don't think you necessarily need to do that. I think her with the sun, with this direct light, I don't think you needed to necessarily do that. Just make sure little things like the hair on her shirt can be very distracting. Maybe when you're shooting, just try to clean that up a little bit. Retouching for direct sun is a true nightmare. It's a reoccurring nightmare, actually. Sometimes for direct sun pictures, I'm like, okay, I'm on the 3rd hour of editing this picture. So I know how hard it can be to retouch and edit this. I think you did a good job. Maybe clean up those little pieces of hair on her face, and I think you're good to go. And then the next one is MADISON Santini. MADISON, I love this picture. The outfit, the background, the colors. I love the muted tones. It's still saturated, but it's muted nicely. You did a great job. The only critique I would give you on this is her hand placement. You know, it's kind of like this kind of thing. Her hand looks strained, so maybe I wouldn't have chosen a picture where her hand is like gripping that. Maybe have a more relaxed pose, I think, especially for this look. Last photo is RUMANI PAYNE's picture, and it looks like a girl standing on grass, but near a river or like a pond. Nope, it's not a pond. It's not. I take it. Nope, I didn't say that. I'm not sure. I don't go outside that often, so I wouldn't know. I think you desaturated the background a little bit too much. I know that maybe you did that deliberately so the subject would stand out more, but also like her skin tone kind of fades into the background a little bit. The only thing that really stands out is her red skirt. She's already defined in the picture because of that backlight, so I would have liked to see a little bit more color to this entire picture. You could bump up the saturation like 10 or 15 on the grass or the trees, because you know that you can see the sun is coming in and you almost want it to be a little bit warmer, and the fact that it's desaturated, it kind of bothers me. It kind of bothers me just a little bit. I love the fact that you chose an outfit where she's wearing something a little bit more sheer, especially since it's backlight, so you can see the light coming through it. I mean, great choice. And yeah, so just work on those, and I hope that those tips were helpful. So that's actually our very last photo. Alright, so that's the end of the video. I want to thank you guys so much for submitting your pictures. Thanks for trusting me enough to submit them and have them in this video. I know it's not easy to, again, just put your images out there, so I really appreciate it, and I hope that you took something away from my tips and they were helpful. If you submitted your picture and it wasn't chosen for this video, don't worry, because I'm going to be doing a part 3 and I'll let you guys know where to submit those. But you might want to follow my Facebook. That's usually where I accept submissions for the photo critique. So definitely keep up with that. I'll have a link down below to the Facebook page where you can, look out for that and see my updates. And I would love to thank you guys so much for watching and again submitting your photos. Good luck out there, and I'll see you guys in the next photo critique. Bye.